everyone. Welcome to This Is My Brave. My name is Megan.
And I'm Jackie.
And we are Two Girls, One Guitar.
Yes.
We're super excited to be a part of this. We ourselves have also been within the community as far as mental health awareness as well. So we're very grateful for you all to be here today. We have some amazing stories, some amazing songs, and we're very excited to share it with you today. Alrighty, let me get you all hooked up here, sweetheart. All right, and we are very grateful to be able to sing the theme song. This is Tell Them I'm Brave. I thought there was no way out. Yeah, I used to be scared of the light, and I was swallowed by doubt. I'd forgotten what freedom was like. Puzzle pieces on the floor, they don't fit anymore. I'm changing, I'm changing. When they ask you who I am, what I've done and where I've been, there's one thing I want you to say. Tell them I'm brave. See it on my face. I am bigger than anything coming my way. It's a new day. Now I'm not afraid. So if anyone asks you how I overcame, you can tell them I'm brave. Sometimes I come out on top, and some days I can't catch a break. But when the fire don't stop, I won't wish my troubles away. I've been down and I've been up, but if you ain't got me now, I'm blooming, I'm moving into better, brighter days. Yeah, this hope is here to stay. There's only one thing you can say. Tell them I'm brave. See them. I am bigger than anything coming my way. It's a new day. Now I'm not afraid. So if anyone asks, you can tell them I'm brave. Oh, oh, oh. We gonna fight. Oh, gonna be alright. Oh, we gonna fight. Oh, together every step of the way. Tell them we're brave. See it on our face. We are bigger than anything coming our way. It's a new day. Now I'm not afraid. So if anyone asks you how we overcame, you can tell them we're brave. You can tell them we're brave. Thank you. All right, we are Two Girls, One Guitar, and this is our Brave. Next, please give a warm welcome to Jessica Beeshold.
Hello, good evening, everyone. My name is Jessica Beeshold, and I am Congresswoman Lauren Underwood's Outreach Director. I'm so pleased to be with here. Thank you. I'm so pleased to be with you here tonight, and I wanted to share this letter on behalf of the Congresswoman who hoped she could be here, but unfortunately could not make it. So this is from the Congresswoman. Hello, everyone. Thank you for inviting me to be a part of the This Is My Brave show. I'm sorry that I couldn't be with you here in person. And first of all, I just want to thank the event organizers and the performers for being a part of this show. So many people in our communities are struggling, and it's more important than ever that we create opportunities like this one where people can talk openly about mental health and share their stories. I also want to share with you today why stories like the ones we hear tonight are why I am fighting every day to protect mental health services and to expand affordable access to care and support systems for my constituents. Our nation's mental health crisis touches the lives of all Americans. Approximately 1 in 5 adults experience mental health issues, and the burden is growing for our younger generations. Evidence suggests that the COVID-19 pandemic has worsened this crisis, with depression and anxiety rates rising and as many as 25% of young people having considered suicide, according to the CDC. And I see that here in the communities I have the honor to represent. From DeKalb to Antioch to Joliet, no matter who I'm talking to or where they live, whether it's a farmer in DeKalb County or students in Naperville, everyone is touched by this growing mental health crisis. That's why in Congress, I fight every day to protect insurance coverage for mental health services and to expand affordable access to care and support systems. As part of this effort, I passed legislation to extend coverage to millions of uninsured Americans and lower the cost of premiums for millions more, saving Northern Illinois families and households across the nation hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Thanks to this legislation, a record 14.5 million Americans signed up for Marketplace healthcare coverage for 2022 through the open enrollment period. 4 in 5 enrollees will find a plan for $10 or less per month, and families are saving an average of $2,400 on their annual premiums for Affordable Care Act, ACA plans. I also introduced the Primary and Behavioral Health Care Access Act, which would require private insurance to cover 3 primary care visits and 3 mental health or substance use disorder treatment visits per year without charging patients out of pocket. But there is so much more work to do, and I am particularly worried about the impact this mental health crisis will have on our young people and the potential for wide-ranging long-term effects on an entire generation. In December 2021, U.S. Surgeon General Vivek Murthy issued an advisory on the need to act and protect youth mental health. In April, I invited the Surgeon General to my district to hear from students in my community about the mental health challenges they are facing. Their experiences were heartbreaking and a crucial illustration that access to mental and behavioral health care services for young people is vital. That's why this year I introduced the Elementary and Secondary School Counseling Act, which would help establish a grant program to help schools recruit and retain school-based mental health professionals, and addressing a severe shortage and meeting students' mental health needs. I am proud to share that last week, the Elementary and Secondary School Counseling Act passed the House of Representatives as part of the Mental Health Matters Act, a package of bills that provide solution to America's growing mental health crisis. This goes hand in hand with also leading a bipartisan effort to address the youth mental health crisis by securing a close to 700% funding increase in the fiscal year 2022 federal spending package for 2 grant programs at the Department of Education: the School-Based Mental Health Services Grant Program and the Mental Health Service Professional Demonstration Grant Program, whose application period is currently open for school districts in our community to apply for. The Mental Health Matters Act would expand these programs and make them permanent. These are just some of the efforts that I am helping push forward in Congress to take action on the conversations like this one being held in our community about the importance and need for a mental health access. And I hope you join me in continuing this fight and continuing to share your stories with me in my office. You can write to us on our website at underwood.house.gov or follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram to stay in the know about our work. You're also welcome to stop by our office or join our town hall in the future. Thank you so much for all of your hard work in joining this evening's program. I am proud to serve you in Washington and committed to uplifting stories like yours and the ones you'll hear tonight. Thank you so much.
Hello. Good evening. There's a lot of beautiful people out there. My name is Marlon De Leon, and I'm the program coordinator at This Is My Brave National. Our corporate office is located in Leesburg, Virginia, and I'm out of South Bend, Indiana. I'm so excited to be here this evening for This Is My Brave, the show in DeKalb. After a long break from the stage due to the COVID pandemic, we are thrilled to be here tonight. This is our 84th show as an organization, and our second show in DeKalb. That's right, give it up. This wouldn't be possible without the work and dedication put in by the DeKalb production team and the brave storytellers you are about to meet. I would like to recognize our national sponsors who have made this season of Brave possible. Many thanks to AbbVie, Janssen Neuroscience, Society of Valued Minds, brought to you by Otsuka Pharmaceuticals, Alkermes, and Sage Therapeutics. Locally, the DeKalb community has shown up and offered an incredible amount of support to make this event a success, not only for our beneficiary organization, the DeKalb County Mental Health Board, but also for the storytellers and the community itself. Thank you to everyone who has played a role in this production. On a local and national level, This Is My Brave is truly a whole community effort. For a little background on This Is My Brave, we were created in 2014 by Jennifer Marshall and Anne Marie Ames. For 7 years, Jennifer Marshall led this organization fearlessly, taking us from one show with 11 storytellers in Arlington, Virginia, to over 80 shows across the country with an alumni community of nearly 1,000 storytellers. Jen stepped down at the end of 2021, so we are here to continue her work, combining storytelling and the performing arts to break down stigma surrounding mental illness and addiction. Because this is a storytelling organization, you didn't think you were going to get away without a story, did you? I actually am not just a staff member of This Is My Brave, I'm actually a storyteller myself. I was part of the show in 2016 in Valparaiso, Indiana. A social worker had sent me the Facebook invitation for auditions, and the rest is history. I told a little bit of my story about PTSD and child abuse, some about my military enlistment, as well as in addition to other things regarding bipolar and depression and anxiety. I also participated by writing our guest blog for This Is My Brave, the website, was on an episode of Brave TV for Men's Mental Health Awareness Month, and recently last fall I was in the APITA community show, APITA being Asian Pacific Islander Desi American show. In July they offered me a position to work remotely out of Indiana, and I ecstatically accepted because there's nothing better to me than telling stories and encouraging other people to tell their own stories. This Is My Brave believes that when one person shares their story, it gives others permission to do the same. Brave multiplies brave. Our Brave DeKalb cast is about to join a community of storytellers from all over the country who have decided to be brave and share their truths on our stage. DeKalb storytellers, welcome to the Brave family. You are about to experience something magical, and you'll be transformed after this event. But we also want you to tell people about it. So if you have a cell phone, take it out. Yeah, I said it. Take it out. Hashtag storytelling saves lives. Hashtag end the stigma. Hashtag live brave. Find us at This Is My Brave. Post the videos, post the pictures, tell your friends. Start the conversation with the people that need to be started with. You can help them learning more about This Is My Brave. So thank you so much for being here tonight, and I know you are going to enjoy this show. And now it is my distinct honor to welcome Christopher Heimerman, lead producer of this show, to the stage.
Thanks. Whew, wow. I'm so glad my boy Marlon used the word magical. Because there's a certain magic in the theater, right? Well, here's the trick that you're about to witness tonight. Our cast members are going to take their pain, they're going to take their struggles with mental illness, something that others might see as ugliness, right? They're going to turn it into something truly and genuinely beautiful. They're going to turn it into art. Because art isn't always clean lines and pastels, right? Oftentimes, art is those moody blues or distressed textures or an image on a canvas that challenges you to spend a little bit more time, to spend time with it and be patient until you see the light within the storm. Because the light was there all along, wasn't it? It just takes bravery, like all of these folks have, to shine that light. You're going to see that light over and over again tonight. You're going to be moved by it throughout tonight's performances. So there are so many thank yous to go around, and I'm grateful to all the folks who are sitting behind me, but I want you to take a moment. Think about those early recordings of the Beatles. How weird would it be to hear the Beatles without all the screaming fans in the background, right? I recently went and saw a concert, one of my favorite bands, Idols, and in between songs, the front man, Joe Talbot, said, "Hi, I'm Joe, and I'm an addict and an alcoholic. My mother was an addict and an alcoholic. The difference between her death and my life is you." The reason this show is possible tonight and all this inspiration is possible is because you out there have loved these incredible people seated behind me. So thank you for making this possible. In a little bit here, I'm going to show you why this story is so important to me. But right now, I'll give you the Cliff's Notes version because, like you, I'm so excited to hear the other performances. I'm a recovering addict. I've wrestled with depression and anxiety for as long as I can possibly remember. And I'll never forget the day that it clicked for me when I found out that my alcoholism was a symptom of my mental illness. And if I properly addressed my mental illness, it would give me a puncher's chance in the fight against addiction. So I worked my program, and the more that I worked it, I started to realize that I did not want to be running away from the things in life that hurt me. I wanted to run toward the things that I wanted out of life. It's going to be hard to hear some of the things in these stories tonight because nobody wants to hear about other people's suffering. It hurts, right? Because we're all empathetic human beings. I've teared up in every single rehearsal. But know that each and every one of these performances will turn those tears of pain into tears of joy as these folks are going to stick the landing and share with you how they've bravely given their illness a name, how they've conquered it, befriended it in some cases, and walked alongside it and learned that they are not their diagnosis. These are brave, beautiful people, and it is my distinct honor to share this stage with them. So it's my privilege now to introduce our first brave performer, the incredible Danita Sims.
Thank you for allowing me to see myself the way you see me. Thank you.
Imagine me loving
to people like me, those that struggle with insecurities, acceptance, and even self-esteem. You never felt good enough. You never felt pretty enough. But imagine God whispering in your ear, letting you know that everything that has happened is now. It's all gone. Every sin, every mistake, every failure, it's all gone. Depression, gone. By faith, it's gone. Low self-esteem, hallelujah, it's gone. It's all gone. It's gone. All my scars, all my pain, it's in the past, it's yesterday. It's all gone. Gone. What your mother did, what your father did. Hallelujah. It's gone.
Because mimes can't talk, I'll say it for her. That was Danita, and that was her brave. My name is Landon Ballard, and I got the distinct opportunity this year to direct the This Is My Brave show here in DeKalb, and so I'm very grateful for that. I'm very excited for you all to get to see just the insane, dynamic, diverse talent that we have sitting behind me on stage here today. I, like everybody behind me and everybody out here on stage, have been filled with a life full of obstacles and full of things that I had to overcome. I was born into a Baptist family. I have 7 brothers and sisters. My dad was in the Navy for 21 years, and I'm an addict. And that was hard for me. Because when you come from a family like that, there's a lot of, for lack of a better word, hype that you have to live up to. And I struggled my entire life with addiction, starting at 13 with marijuana. By 16, it was pills, and by 19, I was addicted to everything but heroin. And I fought to put myself in that position. And there are a couple things that I want to tell you guys that helped me get out of the situation that I was in and the lifestyle that I was living. I had the opportunity when I was about maybe 15 or 16 years old to talk to a man named Joel Klausing. And he had a son that at 19 years old died of a heroin overdose. And we had the opportunity to ask him what he felt his son would say if he were here with us today. And the number one thing that he said is that you are good enough. And it's so simple, and it's so true, but it's so hard to believe that you are good enough. So if there's one thing that you remember from coming here today, I want you to remember that you are good enough. The other thing that I've carried with me that has helped me get through what I've been through is understanding that you only get as many chances as you get. And I know that that sounds funny, but hear me out. Once you're out of chances, that's it. And in May of 2020, I made the decision to stop wasting chances. And in May of 2020, I got sober. And from then, I have been living with those two things as my core value. And one of the main things that has kept me going through everything is music. From a very young age, I learned how to play guitar, and I can pretend I play piano. And so I use that as a tool. And this is a song that I'd like to share with you guys that kept me going, despite everything that I was doing, everything that I was caught up in. I knew that I would be okay. You'll be okay. You'll be okay. The sun will rise to better days, and change will come. It's on its way. Just close your eyes and let it rain, 'cause you're never alone, and I will always be there. You just carry on. You will understand. You'll be okay. You'll be okay. Just look inside. You know the way. Let it go. Fly away and say goodbye to yesterday. 'Cause you're never alone, and I will always be there. You just carry on. You will understand. And I will be strong when love is gone. And I'll carry on. You'll be okay. You'll be okay. The sun will rise to better days. You'll be okay. You'll be okay. Just close your eyes and let it rain. Thank you. Thank you. My name is Landon Ballard, and this is My Brave. Next up, we have the amazing, the highly talented writer, Marcia Vox.
All right, so yes, my name is Marcia, and sometimes I write, just journal or like poetry, just to kind of, that's my way of processing things. So this piece is called Pressure of the Mask, and it's really to give voice to maybe those hidden parts of ourselves that may be covered with masks or filters. So this is Pressure of the Mask. No worries is a phrase that I throw out on repeat, when in fact, it's only a covering for my inner unravelings. I go to bed every night reluctant about the next day. So many expectations by me on what I should do and should not do or say. To shed some tears, one is seen as being too emotional. So I fake a smile because clearly that's more ethical. Worried and caring so much about what the people have to say, showing less of myself to feel accepted, afraid to show all and be rejected. While the pressure of the world sits heavy on my shoulders, my thoughts are racing as I see everything caving in like boulders. The heavy mass leaves little energy for anything at all. And though I'm down on the ground, I still fear that mask's heavy fall. Underneath, I am cuddled and wrapped up in the depth of my sadness and depression as it flows through my veins to the point of repression. Pain builds up from the comparison of me to the other, bombarded with the suggestions and solutions that compound my problem one day after another. The lack of understanding seems like I'm not pushing hard enough. I only need you to care, yet all I hear is this constant rebuff. My problem is not solely related to my attitude or my choice. Please try to understand the complexity and listen to this emerging voice. I am always apologizing for someone else's mistake, overcompensating and putting pressure on myself for everyone else's sake. Stuck with the guilt about my hidden feelings and beliefs. My counselor told me, girl, you need to put yourself first, learn some boundaries. But to never be angry or weak is seen as a status symbol, and I must swallow my hurt and pain just to keep looking stable. My slight response to stimuli could betray me as a toxic person, and I always feel like someone will abandon me for that very reason. To my friends and those related to me by blood, please see me reaching out from the muck of the mud. Please don't shove me away because I am hard to read. I don't know another way to meet my needs. There are things that you can't see that lie beneath these eyes, like what's behind this contrived smile. Can you unravel the true emotions, fathom the hushed mental implosions? I weep, I sing, I choke, and then I do my cleaning. Sometimes I wish my life was a joke because even jokes have some meaning, but I feel much less than derision under the weight of bad decisions. My every silent whimper masked by this glossy simper. Tell me, can you tell? Or do I mask it all too well? With help, I am learning better ways of functioning, slowly walking away from the expectations of performing and auditioning. I am building healthy boundaries and defending them at all costs so that when the waves of grief come, I know all is not lost. There will be rough days, and that is okay. No journey is perfect at the end of the day. The mask falls to reveal one who is both mentally ill and a thriver. My name is Marcia, and I am a suicide survivor. Thank you. So again, my name is Marcia, and this is my Brave. Our next Brave performer is the talented musician Steve Dice.
I hope this is worth it. Yes, my name is Steve Dice, and I didn't know much about this organization until I got involved, and we had some auditions, and I was nervous as heck, and so definitely this is my Brave is such a definitive statement, because I feel like I am pretty brave coming up here and doing this, and I know all these other people are too. So thank you. And so my story is, I spent at least 2/3 of my life addicted, and a portion of that, a good portion, was severely addicted. I was on things that would kill a horse easily. But got into a lot of altercations and accidents, and went to court with my wife and my kids who were so young. And then I had heroin addiction bad, and ended up in a traffic altercation. Nobody got hurt, thank God, but the police showed up, and I didn't want to have to drag my family through that again. So I went home and told my wife, I said, I think this is it. So this song is basically about coming to grips with that and trying to understand how you can hurt the people around you so much, and how it is kind of a selfish act, but you don't see that when you're in the depths of depression. All you just see is you want a way out. So I'm very grateful for this opportunity and for everybody that's loved and supported me till where I'm still working on it. So anyway, it goes like this, if I can remember it. God's grace and protect you. Maybe somewhere there is a place of peace on the other side. You made your decisions on how to live and die. Made it your last mission to leave us wondering why. You ripped my heart out, I wear it on my sleeve. You stole the very best part of me. Yeah, 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 Hey, did you say your prayers? May God's grace save and protect you. Thank you very much. And now, it's my pleasure to introduce to you the next performer, and she pretty much is the definitive, the definition of brave, and very talented, and I hope that you guys pull up to the edge of your seats a little bit more, because you're not going to want to miss one word of her. This is Give It Up for J.J. Sells.
Good evening. On this October evening, we are at the break of fall. But let me ask you to think back, please, to 2010. What were you doing? Here in Chicago, it wasn't the snowiest, and it wasn't the coldest winter on record. But it was the darkest winter of my entire life. It was a frigid day in mid-January. After a long shift, I'd finally reached my driveway, and I pull in and I see her car, that purple Chevy Monte Carlo. When I say her, I'm speaking about a woman I loved. A woman I had a long, intimate relationship with. We had dated on and off for quite some time, but at this particular time, it was a relationship far into its ending. There was nothing left to say. I had nothing left to say. Just leave. Leave. And I turned to walk away as she stayed in my house. Seconds later, my hearing went out. Everything was slow, numb, and there was blood, a lot of blood. Red painted the sleeve of my white sweater, coated my hands. My arm was suspended, paralyzed, unable to be moved. I had realized I had been shot. I don't remember the bullet piercing through my skin. I just remember that amplification of silence. Temporary deafness, the taste of gunpowder particles in my mouth. Image, it is powerful. But as much as it is powerful, it is also superficial. Many seen the gold badge pinned to my chest, pressed and pleated polyesters, a duty weapon at my side. A layer beneath a physique of muscularity and ink. I looked nothing like a victim. And I guess that's why I wasn't perceived as one. Women can be violent. They can also Women can be violent and victimized by other women. We know this, but we are bound by those social stigmas that men are aggressors and women are weak and vulnerable. We minimize accountability and hostility, and we excuse intentional criminal behaviors because of that same stigma, that women are a softer, gentler gender. After living together for quite some time, I've seen a different side of her, the real side, her always on Friday night side. Now, I didn't always see her drinking, but that smell of alcohol on her breath was insistent. I would find half-drunken vodka bottles and dog food bags in her glove box, hidden underneath the wooden planks of the back wooden porch. These were more than little red flags. They were full-blown warning sirens that either I didn't want to see, or because of my exposure to trauma personally, as well as my own defensive mechanisms, my boundaries were skewed just that much. By the time I got home from the hospital, the blood was cleaned for most of the kitchen, but I was still able to find its trace. In between the crevices of the hardwood flooring, the decorative patterns on the cabinet nods, hiding in the scratches of the stainless steel sink, and embedded in the porous granite stone countertops. Blood was all around me. And if any of you have been around large amounts of blood, you can smell it. That iron, copper, penny scent. Staring into the stainless steel fridge where that Glock had left its scar, the big hole right there in plain view, there was no wiping that off. I didn't hear much from my agency, but it wasn't long before the local media got a hold of this. The local paper read, "Lesbian cop shot by her lover. Lesbian love triangle ends with cop shot." I can't begin to tell you how fucked up this sounded when the media got a hold of it. It was obviously clear that the word lesbian was used to target an audience and to exploit my sexuality. But even worse, it was used to make the seriousness of this event sound like some goddamn circus act. There was no transparency. Instead, an internal investigation into the allegations against me for not living an exemplary lifestyle, for bringing ill repute to my police department. I was hurt, physically and emotionally. Months later, while reading through the police reports, I learned that she admitted that gun, or loaded that gun while standing in my driveway and then shoving it in her waistband. She told the officers 3 inconsistent stories to how that gun went off. She was showing me how to clean my weapon. I was just trying to scare her. She shot herself on accident. The investigating officers in the state's attorney's office did not view this crime as domestic violence, as there was no proof of a relationship. They said they couldn't even prove that she had the intent to commit a crime. After all, she said it was an accident. But guns don't shoot people. People shoot people. It was clear that this was blown off entirely. How is it that our criminal justice system can completely disregard this violence. Because she was a woman, we were both women, because she didn't look masculine or butch enough, because she was a middle-aged white woman with a professional career and no criminal history. The final decision by the court was reckless discharge of a firearm. The complaint as it read never even indicated that I had been shot. It merely stated a weapon was discharged in a dwelling where people are expected to be present. It was absolutely devastating. I spent months and months in recovery, now teaching myself to use my left arm defensively and tactfully. I forced myself to keep shooting most of the time with tears of anger in my eyes, numbing myself entirely to that familiar sound of the firing pin, that echoing, dark, loud bang. Eventually, against all odds, and after seeing specialist after specialist, I was medically released by their doctors and mine to return to full duty. But I continued to fight the resistance and fighting for my career, something at this point I had felt was stolen from me twice. Once by her, and then by them. Often, I would stare into the hole of my wound, that black stippling of burnt skin, searching for answers to questions I didn't even understand. I rebuilt my career, and I rebuilt myself. Now, almost 12 years later, when I step into that range for monthly qualifications, it is with instinct that I rely on my non-dominant side. And that smell of burnt cordate, that rapid displacement of air, reminds me just how close I could have come. Being fearless is being honest. And I speak this truth from a very hard perspective, from a lens within and against our criminal justice system. Through the scars I wear and the ones I will never forget, I still remind myself, I am lucky. Thank you. I am J.J. Sully, this is My Brave, and next up is the incredible musician, Darielle.
Good evening, Egyptian Theater. When I was 19, my mother passed away, and I started going to counseling again. And during that time, we talked about my grief, and we talked about some other things too, including aspects of my personality and how much I felt the weight of my emotions. And I remember saying to her, Diane, you know, it just seems like I'm like really up and down, and don't you think, why haven't you prescribed or considered prescribing a medication for me? And she said, Darielle, you have the ability to experience life more deeply than many other people are lucky enough to experience. And I would hate to take that from you. All I want to do is give you the tools so you can cope with those emotions. So one of the tools that I've been using since then, as part of my mental hygiene, is songwriting. And this song is called Out of Range. And it's about relationships where addiction plays a third party. And as the addiction sinks in, it creates a gap between the people who love each other, whether it's from shame or anger or guilt. The gap widens until the other person is almost out of range. And I just ask you to continue to try to bridge that gap and hold on to that love and hope for anyone who might be suffering. This is called Out of Range.
I don't like the way you talk to me. Words don't match with the display. How do we shake the cacophony? Isn't that what the drugs were for? But they don't work no more. I'm calling out your name, but you're out of range. I'm calling out for frames of frozen memories. They flicker strange. It's that light we can't remember right. It's getting hazy as swooping starlings. Oh, how they I'd forgotten that you wrote to me. Words came searing from the page. There's nothing left as far as I can see to make this less obscure. I'm shouting, I'm sure, and I'm calling out your name, but you're out of range. I'm calling out your games, composed like tidal waves. They crash through currents, change. In the night, we could remember flight and get crazy as swooping starlings. Oh, how they I'm calling out your name, but you're out of range. I'm calling out the names of those whose kisses fade. They do decay. Quick delight, don't make the habit right. You gotta rise above it, baby. As swooping starlings. Oh, how they sing. Oh, how they sing. Oh, how they sing. Can't you hear them sing?
little consciousness, experiment with radical self-love. Ignore the negative voices, have faith in positive choices, and know that it's true. You deserve love too. That's why I'm calling out your name. Calling out your name. I'm Dariel Baleka, and this is my brave. Up next, we have the talented Ashari Bird.
Hi, I'm Ashari Bird, and I'm the youngest one here, and pretty much I'm here to talk about my mental health. I've been struggling with my mental health issues since I've been younger, and due to having mental health issues, it's caused physical health diseases that I struggle with daily. And my poem is called No Forevers, and I named my poem No Forevers because you go through something, you think like with depression, anxiety, okay, this is something I'm gonna have to deal with forever, but there is no forever and forever. No forevers. I'm a rose on a dark day that can't seem to fade away. I'm tired of the stems poking me and all the petals falling to the lonely ground. It's built inside of me to keep flourishing despite this constant darkness that devours my soul. The thought of anxiety brings pain to my chest, heart beating fast, body shaking, body aching. Overthinking can get lonely. That's why I write poetry to clear my mind. Life changed for me big time to the point that I hardly recognize myself anymore. Driving to the doctor, not knowing what would be said or how this answer may mess up my head. I was diagnosed with a disease called fibromyalgia. I had lost my job along with leaving college. I gave up on my dreams because I seen no way out of this constant pain. Each day I live in survival mode as if happiness doesn't want me back. I can't sleep anymore on my own because these racing thoughts won't leave me alone. My brain becomes my worst enemy. I grieve with part of me that I can't get back. I miss the days when things were normal. But what is normal? My life has always been complicated. Watching others get up and live their life each day, not knowing how lucky they are to not be in complete suffering. I miss long talks with my grandma and play fighting with my brother. Nowadays, everything feels the same. I am a suicide survivor. And I've been fighting since the age of 12 to stay alive, to fix the clock and go back in time to the good days. Monday through Sunday, pill after pill, question after question, yet no relief or answers that I need. I've sat in therapy once a week for the past 8 years, talking about my feelings, questioning if this is even working anymore. I still feel sad. I tell myself that everything will work in my favor, but it says everything turns into a storm. Many demons are drawn to me because they see that God has a plan for me. Wanting to live is the hardest decision I deal with each day. No one knows that I am dying inside and trying to hold on. You all can't see it. I'm taking that she's just fine when I'm not. I dream of my happy place, the sand in between my toes, the sun glaring on my beautiful brown skin while hearing the waves hit the shore. The ocean reminds me that there's hope, that every storm won't kill you. It'll make you swim farther. When depression is taking over, I get on my knees and say a prayer. Lord, please fix me in all of the places I'm hurting. My faith is what keeps me sane. Depression has become my best friend, my comfort spot. Happiness is a second instinct. I have hope some days, and other days I'm hopeless. It's as if I can't leave this circus. My emotions are laughing back at me, telling me that I'll never be okay. I hear my mind saying, you aren't enough. Nobody cares. You are alone and you'll never be good enough. I have to constantly give myself pep talks when my evil thoughts take over. I wear my semicolon on my wrist to show how I continue my story when I didn't want to. Being me every day is too exhausting. It's a fight to get out of bed each morning. My poor achy bones pain from my head to toes. Sometimes it hurts so bad that I wish I was better off dead. My toes are numb and tingling and swelling up. My shoulders, neck, and back feel like a punching bag. I am fading away more and more each day. No cure for this debilitating disease. Each day I'm forced to live through this pain. I am not okay. Just standing up on this stage itself feels like too much. I feel as if I'm not living my true potential. For my last birthday, all I wanted was to reverse my health, but some dreams don't come true. It's a perfect image we create in our mind that will never be, and that's the hardest feeling to bear every day. I want to smile and live my life again to the fullest. I grieve my childhood and all the moments I didn't appreciate. I would take anything to have those moments back. Fibromyalgia, you won't win. Depression, you won't win. Anxiety, you won't win. BPD, you won't win. I am not defined by these diseases I carry each day. I am more than that. I'm a woman, right? I will forever fight to the end for my happiness and peace. I shall go on another day, but there is no forever and forever, right? Thank you. My name is Ashari Bird, and this is my brave. Now please join me in welcoming JJ Wett to the stage.
Yes. Okay. Man, this has been a journey tonight, hasn't it? It has. So, I've been honored to hear all these stories. I hear stories like these daily. I'm a licensed mental health professional. And so we thought, what better way to show our side of things too, than have me recite my own poem as a therapist. So this is called I Feel It Too. You come to your first session. You don't know me, I don't know you. Excited by the idea of a new connection. Terrified of what I may hear and hoping I can help. We start from the beginning, slowly meandering our way through your life. We stop at certain points to value the strengths and others to work through the pain. We cover duty to warn, and I can't help but wonder if you will hold back. Hold back in fear of retribution. Retribution from the legal system that could make your life worse, even though you're seeking help. I must believe you're telling the truth, and I become content with that idea. We flow through the next few sessions, getting to know each other, using humor at times to ease the tension. We get to the part about your diagnosis. Do I tell you? Do I not tell you? Will this be a rupture in our relationship? I decide to ask, and you say you want to know. As I tell you what set of symptoms check which boxes, I remind you, you are not your diagnosis. we get past the beginning of treatment. This is where the true work starts. The real work of processing your past and how it affects now. I hear your hellish stories, and I walk with you. As we're walking through hell, we stop to relish from where we have come from. We continue our journey week in and week out, knowing that if we're going to get out, the only way is forward. After the victory over your demons, we come to the point to say goodbye. We both wonder what's in store for you. As I hope to see you again, I also hope to not see you because I want what is best for you. We both find the strength to part ways, and we both know we're better for knowing each other. My name is J.J. Witt, and this is my brave. Last up, I have the great honor of introducing our lead producer, Christopher Heimerman.
I hope y'all have been using those cell phones, taking lots of photos and videos, slapping the hashtags on there that we talked about earlier. My personal favorite is storytelling saves lives. And I hope these stories that you've heard tonight, I hope that you've found a detail, a storyline, a twist that you recognize and that you can use going forward. So what happens when we tell ourselves fictional stories? I started doing that when I was a kid. I would tell myself that I was too emotional, that made me weak, that my depression made me broken, and that it was all in my head. I was told that my anxiety and my racing thoughts needed to be silenced at all costs. Now, because of this, I was a pretty straight-edge kid, straight A's, but then I got to college, right? And I quickly found out that the quickest way to cancel out all of those nagging thoughts and that depression was alcohol and drugs. And sure enough, it worked. And I started to tell myself a new narrative. I started to tell myself that I could not survive without those things. And I became an extremely high-functioning alcoholic. And then I began to convince myself that as long as I continued to enjoy career success, run marathons, have a beautiful family, have this beautiful life, the headline reads, "Local man successful." I told myself as long as that was the case, that everything was just fine. I had to shatter that myth in order to truly begin living my life. It's been 1,241 days since I've had my last drink. And now I write new stories. One of them, on a less intense note, was I had written this story that even though I'm musical, that I couldn't play musical instruments, let alone play them and sing at the same time. But I figured it's time to start writing some new stories, right? This is the first time I've played and sang in public. So, this song is called "It's a Boy." Day breaks in a warm bed. I used to sweat through these sheets and beg them to pull me underneath. sunrise, my soul cries tears of joy. It's a boy, and he's so familiar. He's all grown up, but there remains a childlike wonder the years couldn't pull under. Not the abuse, not all the loss, not suicide in these racing thoughts, not all the booze or all the drugs I used to use to keep it up. And they said, son, don't let them see you sweat, as long as that's hot that spotlight gets. So much talent, you're a winner, and if you make the grade and just get paid, the accolades, they'll cover up your wounds. Just don't lose, just don't lose. So I forced the smiles, I ran the miles, I had the kids build a picket fence, I hung the plaques, but I paid a tax, my heart went bankrupt. But they said, son, don't let them see you sweat, no matter just how hot that spotlight gets. You got so much talent, you're the winner, and if you make the grade and just get paid, the accolades, they'll cover up your wounds. Just don't lose, just don't lose. And so I broke, but my pieces, they're all still here. And I get to put them together and build myself better, tap into the roots while removing the weeds. My heart is a muscle, it flexes and bleeds. My soul is a vessel, and it's back above water. But no matter just how long it's been, when you tell me I could love myself again, oh, I'm trying to hear you, 'cause I'm staring down a tidal wave of love and fear and joy. This time I'm not running away, I'm running toward the water, 'cause I wanna feel it all. My name is Christopher Heimerman, and this is My Brave. And this has been my absolute stinking privilege of being part of this thing and having these amazing people buy into this journey. It has taken an incredibly steady hand that has reminded me, wait for the magic. The magic is going to happen, Christopher. Relax. And it is my distinct pleasure to introduce somebody who's been my co-producer on this show, my guiding light, and she is an absolute treasure and champion in the local health community. It is Deanna Cada, Executive Director of the DeKalb County Mental Health Board.
My talent is surrounding myself with amazing and talented people, and I have done that really well. Our brave cast was able to shine a light tonight on a topic that is often top of mind, but not often enough a topic of conversation. Normalizing the conversation about mental health empowers us to get help when needed, to understand that we are not alone, and to maintain good mental health for ourselves. I want to take a moment to ask our audience to be brave with us and to please stand if you have experienced a mental health condition or if you have loved somebody who has. We are all in this together. Thank you so much. You can be seated. It is the vision of This Is My Brave to get to a place where one day we will no longer have to call it brave for talking openly about mental illness and addiction. We will simply call it talking. And we will understand that wellness, mental health, and mental illness are topics that are important to all of us. And we must make these conversations and our actions, such as philanthropy, volunteering, and voting, count. We just witnessed that we are all affected by mental illness, and simply being here today was an incredible start to building upon a movement of people willing to be more open and supportive of those impacted but not defined by mental illness. We hope that you'll think of This Is My Brave and use this experience you've shared with us today to start the conversation, build understanding, and keep it going. This is what it means to live brave. If you were moved by what you witnessed here tonight and you'd like to contribute to This Is My Brave to help them continue this vitally important work, please check out the back of your program and it will tell you how you can donate. And thank you for your support. The magic, and magic is the theme, we witnessed tonight does not appear out of thin air, but results from hard work and financial support. I want to thank our local sponsors, Cada Pools and Spas, the Association for Individual Development, the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention, Northwestern Medicine, and the DeKalb County Community Mental Health Board, who not only provided sponsorship for this event, but is also who helped support your snacking at this event tonight. There are several board members here tonight. Please find one of them and say hello. Finally, I would thank the magicians who made tonight happen. Our fundraising manager, Kirsty McNeese. Our mental health professional, JJ Webb. Our marketing coordinator, Dana Hera. Our fantastic show director, Landon Ballard. And the man whose vision created this wonderful experience, where it started in a coffee shop, I think, of, hey, you know, I think I need to do something. And with that, Christopher created This Is My Brave DeKalb 2022. Christopher Hyman. So if you'd like to meet us and talk to us in person, we'd love to spend some time with you in the lobby where we can gather and visit and chat. But first, how about one more round of applause for DeKalb County Storytellers?